This worked out great. My two favorite teams battling in the opener. Oh yeah. It's the two best teams in the NFL, Ian Book and the Saints, taking on Mac Jones and the defending Super Bowl champ Patriots. We're back. The Saints have gotten a lot better, signing a lot of key players, having one of the top defenses in the league. All great players besides quarterback, taking on Mac Jones and defending Super Bowl champ Patriots.
New Orleans Saints. From a venue that has sold out since it opened back in 2002, there's a look at the home of the Patriots, Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Mass. All the success in New England over the last few decades, and this crowd has never been more enthusiastic. A moment ago, the Pats emerged from their locker room. They are set as they'll square off with the New Orleans Saints. The wait is finally over.
Book's first start. Let's see how he does.
Here on the start of a new NFL season, and we kick it off with a bang on Thursday night.
What's interesting about these Thursday night games is oftentimes we hear people say, is it really fair for players to play on Thursday night? But what did we hear from both of these teams going into this one? How excited they were to have the spotlight on their teams, their franchises, the rest of the league watching them go at it.
Devontae Smith now from his end zone. And not a very good return at all, as he won't even get this back to the 15. So here are the Saints with a long field ahead. They'll be led out by the man from Notre Dame. At quarterback, it's Ian Book.
And one of the selling points about Ian Book coming out of college is his brain, a very smart player. And he was snapped up in the 4th round in 2021 when many thought he would go much later, mainly on the strength of that brain. Good arm, accurate, tough. One of the top players in Notre Dame history in terms of wins as a quarterback.
There's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Book now. Open man is Kyle Pitts, his tight end. And he'll be taken down, but they've got this one up to the 35-yard line. On 1st and 10, Book.
Ah,
Force it to Hopkins, and it's
20. There we go.
And the Patriots are going to take possession of the football as they force the turnover on the opening drive. So out come the Patriots here to get their first shot on offense. They're led by their quarterback from the University of Alabama, Mac Jones.
Mac Jones absolutely believed in himself coming out of high school. Went to Alabama despite the fact there were many high-profile quarterbacks already on the roster and blossomed into a Heisman Trophy candidate in his final season with 41 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. Steady, consistent as a passer, doesn't have the biggest cannon for an arm, but can stretch the field and lay those passes in on the deep ball.
Hunter Henry brings it in, and he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. Now Jones on 1st down. There goes a deep ball, end zone.
Diggs!
And this is caught. Touchdown, Patriots. Stephon Diggs, 40 yards. And the Patriots are on the board here first in the season opener. Got outside the tackle box, and sometimes that can be a recipe for disaster, but here it was not.
It's frustrating for guys on defense, too, because he got out to the left and then still delivered on the move with accuracy.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott.
I don't know. I didn't have Brady's number.
And he gets it to make it 7-0 Patriots. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. On the return, here comes Smith out of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And he'll look to rebound from the early interception that led to 6 points the other way.
Where's Hill? Why is Taysom Hill? Where's Hill? Here.
And when he threw the interception and he had to come to the sideline, I'll guarantee his first thought wasn't about the interception itself, but what could result. And I know he was thinking to himself, come on, defense, bail me out. Well, they weren't able to in this situation. Now he's got to go atone for it himself, but he can't force things. They certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. To throw is Bourne. They look for Pitts again. This time he's got it. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line.
Well, normally you see 3 tight ends in a formation. You have to think to yourself, this has got to be a run. And I know as a safety, when I saw that, I took an extra step or two towards the line of scrimmage. Instead, they threw the ball, and he found one of those tight ends for a very nice pickup.
Now to throw on first down. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. Touchdown, New Orleans. DeAndre Hopkins.
The University of Massachusetts Amherst is the place to pursue dreams, to explore a new direction, or to transform.
56 yards. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. On to the point after is Randy Bullock. So these teams' next touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied at 7-7. So only with 7 downs, they can get away. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he'll wind up getting a couple extra yards here for his trouble, bringing it out of the end zone as he's down at the 27. So back onto the field come the Pats for their second drive. They were successful last time finding the end zone on their opening drive of the season. And they get another shot here with 1st and 10.
We're tied 7, a minute and 5 to go in the first. We'll be back.
Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones.
More here for Jones. And down to the 7-yard line. Well, that didn't take long. 1 play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation. Back to throw. Jones. And it's caught. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. Now the toss to Jones, right. He is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. this should be the final play before the quarter ends. They look to throw on 3rd and goal. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Whether that's a little graphic. We get the job done in the secondary. Let's lock that one away.
That field goal would break the tie, but look at this. Instead, they're going to go for it on 4th and goal. Looking to throw. Jones. Touchdown. Jacoby Myers there to make the grab. And the Patriots have taken the lead. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it out and score a touchdown.
Elliott good on the extra point. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. The kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. On the return, here comes Smith out of the end zone. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The New Orleans offense back out and ready to go. They trail a one-score deficit, 14-7 as they come up 1st and 10.
Fuck.
Book. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Fair to say, it hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to give more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
So into Pat's territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 47. Book's throw here taken in as he's able to find Goddard. And he'll get this one down.
They've got it as well.
Just shy
The
of the 20.
Eagles.
On 1st down, Book. Open man is Goddard, the tight end. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. A chance now to get even before the break as they come up 1st and goal. Now Book. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. A great play there. There to make the grab. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury, and it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run and finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
Got Bullock to have the extra ball. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it all culminates in the Saints touchdown. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And this will not be returned. It's a touchback. And they'll begin at the 25. The Patriot offense back out, getting set to go. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior. Big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass. There we go. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Now this throw caught left side. And he'll be down deep into New Orleans territory. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 net. Touchdown! It's complete. Jacoby Myers. Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Patriots have moved out in front.
Was it Thursday?
He's having a nice little first half here, partner.
It's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the 2nd quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Elliott on for the extra point. Oh, this will be 18. No good on the extra point, so a letdown there. And this will stay a 6-point ball game.
Saints have Satan. How do they get Satan?
Now he's back out there to boom this.
They already had him.
Some
I thought
frustration
I
after
signed
the
him
PAT
for that
miss.
years in the past.
On the return, here comes Smith out of the end zone. And Smith not going to bring it out, so it's a touchback. There he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. You know, normally he's probably happy with how he's playing. He's playing pretty well, but in the 2nd quarter, you look up your team's losing. I don't think any quarterback's satisfied.
Not at all. And what they're really seeking is, how do I play even better and inspire my teammates to do exactly the same in order for us to get back on top on the scoreboard. That's when you find out you have a quarterback. If they're just satisfied with their stat line,
They're not really a leader.
not at all. You just have a guy playing the position.
And he gets this deep into Patriot territory. They'll set up to throw. Caught on the sling. Touchdown, Saints. A great effort there. Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Saints, if they convert the extra point, they'll have the lead. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes. That's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far, and fun to watch. Bullock good on the extra point, and that will give him the lead here as we get on towards halftime. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown.
Did I mention a twist on that in this game? Got to tell you, it's my 2 favorite teams. Of course,
And not willing to risk anything here late in the half. He'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. New England with a first down as they begin the drive. And they've got less than 30 seconds to go here, so not a lot of time to work with. Open man is Myers. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. A big play there just before halftime. And the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. throwing, Jones. And this is incomplete. Oh, he had 6 points right in his hands, but could not hang on. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. This is caught. Touchdown, Patriots. A great play there in the final seconds of the 1st half. And once again, the Patriots are back out in front.
Well, someone has a sense of the dramatic here, don't they? Scoring this late in the half to take the lead going into the locker room.
Now they just don't want to misstep misfortune on the next kickoff because there's still a little bit of time left on that clock.
Yeah, you do have to bring that up, don't you? In the NFL, every play is critical. And if you give up something cheap there, all that advantage they just gained goes right out the window.
Elliott good with a PAT. And that'll make this a 6-point game. Time for one play on offense. 7 seconds to go in the half as the kick is away. This field.
Why would he want it out now?
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. Final play of the 1st half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10.
Uh-oh.
He's got a little daylight.
The flag,
He's
though.
at the 40.
Are you
The
kidding me?
20, 10. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about.
Oh, damn. Oh, that's... Oh. What a game. What an opening game. What an opening game. And now they could take the lead going to halftime.
And with that, his guys take the lead here by a point. So we have reached halftime here in the Thursday night opener. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, good to get another season underway. We'll get back to you guys for the 2nd half of the season opener. But first, let's take a look at what's still to come here in the opening weekend of the NFL season. Good games all over the screen there, one being at MetLife Stadium. A big one for the Jets, as they'll have to contend with the visiting Pittsburgh Steelers. Then later, they'll let the sun die down a bit in Tampa. A late start here in Florida, where it'll be the Buccaneers taking on the Miami Dolphins. And lastly, Monday Night Football has a good one lined up between the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, in our game, no shortage of offense as each team been able to move the ball effectively. Will the defense show up in the 2nd half? Find out.
I'd love to see
We give it
Coco.
back to our commentator, Brandon
Please,
Cotton
I haven't seen
and
him.
Charles Davis.
Oh, Coco! You really just showed up early.
All right, Coach, thanks. Yeah, both teams likely to make some changes in what's been a closely fought battle to this point. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the 2nd half. No run back here to begin the half, and we will start at the 25-yard line. Here comes Mac Jones and the rest of the Patriot offense. And Charles, he's been spectacular. 4 touchdown passes, yet his guys, they trail.
And that is so difficult to actually believe with the way that he has played as you watch him find his guys open downfield or throw them open. 4 flicks of the wrist, 4 passes. If he keeps that up, though, they may not trail for long.
And now he'll be in search of touchdown pass number 5. The Pats at the line, ready to go. And they're on the short end of the scoreboard here. Charles, what adjustments, if any, do you think they need to make for the second half?
The Patriots in the gold medal and coach on Brooks. I just say you continue to play your game. Throw the ball. They had success doing it in the first half. So make sure you keep getting the ball to your playmakers a little bit more to the perimeter, perhaps. But above all, play your game.
And this one is incomplete.
I think that was good strategy there, trying to go right back to him after the last completion. But this time, the defense was all over it, and they got there to break that one up.
To throw again on second down.
Oh,
Jones,
no.
That's caught left side. Myers with it. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. A big play there for the Patriots. What a game it's been for this duo.
They remind me of a good comedy team. They know how to play off of each other so well. No matter how one riffs, the other's right there to pick them off, and they are shredding them in this ball game.
2 minutes, 28 seconds, 2:28 seconds to go.
So now following the big play, they've got a first and goal all the way down at the 10. Back to throw again. Touchdown Patriots. 10 yards on the touchdown pass. And the Patriots have retaken the lead. He was on point throwing the ball right there. He had the big play to get him down close, and then he delivers a touchdown pass on first and goal.
And you mentioned the big play that got him down close. I think that big play left him reeling a little bit. They didn't recover from it. And you know, they always talk about having to have a short memory on defense after a big play against you. Looks like their memory was a little too long there.
Now look to throw. It's caught at the 1. They will find the end zone.
Yeah.
And it moves up to 7.
I didn't mean to fall.
Around the goal line, especially on 2-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. On the return, here comes Smith out of the end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Getting set to go again, DeAndre Hopkins marches back onto the field. And I know that they double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. They'll push forward for about 4 up to the 23.
I can see what he was thinking on that carry. What a big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. They run it again with Kamara. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. And now off to the races, down the right side. Touchdown, New Orleans.
Oh, you see?
Alvin Kamara, 77 yards. And the Saints are within an extra point of tying this thing up. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up
It's
significantly, right? Big time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
Now Bullock to add the extra point.
Ah.
And he missed it. No good. And that remained down by a point.
Blew it. He blew it. What happened to blew
So
it?
with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. And here comes a return for just beyond the goal line. And no effort to bring this one out. It's a touchback. And now out come the Patriots. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now Jones. And he's going to hook up with his big tight end, complete. And he's brought down for a very nice gain.
As they began this drive, I was wondering how they were going to attack since they're playing with the lead. Would they continue to try and push the ball downfield? But after one play, it appears that the answer is yes.
They go play action here on first down. And it's nearly an interception, but it's incomplete. A turnover really would have helped him there, but not to be. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
And his throw is incomplete.
In the early days of the NFL, you could easily blame these drops on maybe some uneven or uncertain lighting in the stadium. Not anymore. The lights are pretty good.
Yeah, they're great here at night, but his second drop, there he goes offside. Touchdown, Patriots. Jacoby Myers with now 3 week one touchdowns. And the Patriots add on to their lead.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that. Truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. Elliott now to add the extra point. And with that, the lead is up to 8. The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards. And it's finished off by a Pats touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. On the return, here comes Smith out of the end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. He is hoping to find the end zone for a 3rd time, and we sit now in the 3rd quarter.
And nothing would excite him more.
Saints have a great defense, but their defense is doing nothing.
Anytime you've got a guy scoring that many times, that means you've done a really nice job in front of it.
You're always giving props to the big fellas up front.
It's always a good idea because he's a massive man.
A first down throw for Buck. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. They'll look to throw now on first down.
Oh, nice.
Almost had his second pick of the game. Probably should have. And he's frustrated as it falls incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
A 2nd down throw for Buck. Caught left side Hopkins. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Patriots' 41-yard line. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Again, he'll drop to throw. DeAndre Hopkins making the catch.
Are you kidding me?
Touchdown, New Orleans. Saints have a chance to tie things up as they trail by 2 here in the 4th. So part 1 of what they needed is done. They get in the end zone. Now you have to imagine we'll see a try for 2.
And that's what the book says, but defensively, they can't hang their head right here. They still got a chance to come out with a lead if they make a play.
They'll try and throw for it.
Oh,
The
no.
end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. And a failure to convert and tie the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down 1. What's the sense? I like what they did.
Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown.
Gonna do a trick
This
play.
will be returned from deep in the end zone.
Yeah.
He's going to take this out of the back of the end zone. And that's going to be a safety. And Charles, at some
Done that
point,
before,
you
damn
can't
it.
keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
An excellent field position here as this drive will start on the other side of the 50-yard line.
Well, so much for the worry about how they would be after losing their lead. What a big-time return to seize the momentum back.
They'll come out throwing here on first down.
He didn't get that.
Incomplete.
Really?
These big guys are featured receivers. They move all over the place to try and find good matchups. And they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Look. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Camaro. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now back to throw. Back to Camaro for another catch. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Getting down to the good stuff. All tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. This will be caught inside the 10. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. A game-winning field goal would be a chip shot from here. Let's see how they play it on 1st and goal. And he's got him. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Alvin Kamara with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns. And the Saints answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here in the 4th.
Hey, that score deserves our respect, deserves our excitement. But I'm looking at the clock and I'm thinking there's a long way to go in this one.
Ideally, they would have liked to milk a little bit more time off now. On the other sideline, you start to get the crew together and say, this is what we practiced the 2-minute drill for, right?
Yeah, you hope you've been in that situation before, and if you haven't, you just have the confidence, hey, let's go down there and get this thing done. But boy, that's a big score right there to give them the advantage.
They get one more as the extra point's up and good. They will take a 7-point lead. Now Bullock will send this one away after the touchdown. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone.
Right.
Oh no, the ball is loose. And this is picked up by the Saints. And they'll spot him at the 3-yard line.
There's never a good place on the field to fumble the ball. Let's just call it as it is.
But definitely not in the red zone.
In your own red zone, it's heightened, isn't it? Because you're almost automatically giving up a score. and the momentum and everything just
Third
changes
down,
for your
fourth
team.
down.
So the kickoff from in a great field position. And Bullock will put this one through. And that will push the lead up to double digits now at 10. And that one will go down in the books as just a one-play drive and then 3 points tacked on to the end of it. So that one, CD, going to make the road back a lot more difficult.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. You know they were praying on the other sideline for a miss because now, as you pointed out, a very difficult road. Down 2 scores. You don't just need a touchdown. You need a chain of events to go your way. You've got to score, somehow get the ball back, and score again. The odds of that happening, not great in your favor.
So now Jones and the Patriots down by 10. A minute 25 to play. They'll need a score here and also likely an onside kick recovery. But first things first. 1st and 10. Now Jones. Gets this to Myers. And all the way down to the 35. To throw is Jones. That's caught by Myers. And he takes this one into the end zone. And all of a sudden, here in the final minute, things get a little bit tighter.
And there's the touchdown that they needed, so they'll celebrate. But the guys on the sidelines, they've got to stay focused. The onside kick team, they need them to get the ball back.
Yeah, part one of the equation done. Now they need to convert and get that onside kick. Elliott on for the extra point. And the lead is down to a field goal now. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. So a little under 50 seconds to go. Plenty of time if they can get this onside kick.
Oh, no way.
So they needed the onside kick.
No
They
flag.
got it. Now they need a field goal.
And that's the beauty of this. They don't have to get 6. A field goal ties the ball game for them. Nicely executed play.
The New Orleans defense, we get set to watch them go. They've got a situation where a field goal ties it. How do you defend this? Because you obviously don't want to give up the touchdown. How aggressive do you get?
That's always the key, isn't it? Where is the line on aggressiveness to over-aggressiveness? And I think most coordinators are looking at it like run your regular defense, add some pressure packages, because really the 35-yard line is the one you really want to defend. At that point, you're thinking you're probably giving up 3. Anything outside of that, you find you've got a chance to hold.
So they'll be in search of the proper amount of pressure. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Myers. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 of the 6. A big play there for the Patriots. And with 4 seconds remaining, they will call the timeout. So just enough of a cushion there to bring on the field goal unit and try to send this one to the extra session. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. 4 seconds to go. This would send us to overtime. And his kick is good. And they will tie this game here in the final seconds. Well, he was a spectator for much of this game. This is his first field goal opportunity of the entire contest, but he's able to connect.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seat to this one, didn't he? But let's face it, all kickers that you and I know, they want to contribute. They want their opportunity, and he seized his.
On the return, here comes Smith out of the end zone. Oh, miscommunication on the lateral. The ball's out.
Alright,
The
wow.
Patriots have it. Final whistle blows, and we need some extra time here to decide who will be the victor.
60 minutes, just not enough some days to decide who's going to win the game.
And here in overtime, If the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets a possession to either match it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Now the Patriots offense, they work their way back out onto the field. The situation is simple. It is sudden death from here on out. We had 2 stops defensively. The next score, whatever it is, wins this game.
And I can't wait to see how the defense decides to play this, because knowing that the next point you give up lose the game for you, I expect them to be more aggressive. Not just play a normal situational defense, but go after him, attack him.
Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Past the 20. And he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
Patriots win a game. Crazy.
You never know what you're going to expect when you come to the stadium to call a game. Sometimes you get good ones, sometimes you get bad ones, sometimes you get great ones. And that's what we had here. What an exciting finish on that last big play.
And I think that as we look at it, we're talking about a great finish, which went along with a game that obviously was dramatic because we did get into overtime. What type of play calls do you have left? What have you not shown? Or what have you made an adjustment to what you've worked on all the way through? It's going to give you the play we saw to win the game. Because I know everyone's thinking that was something that they just drew up. It might have been something they've been working on, and now they got the right matchup.
Wow, what
So
a
New England,
game.
they begin the new campaign with a victory here in front of the home crowd in the Thursday opener. And now they'll get the weekend off as they get a little extra time to prepare to face the Buffalo Bills. Meanwhile, for the Saints, they go down to defeat here in the opener. And they'll be back home next week as they're set to take on the Carolina Panthers.
Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Thanks.